Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. How you doing tonight? Sorry, I'm a little bit late here. Was looking up some of the results of various elections, and just checking out what's been going on with it's election night, baby. And also looking at this news about Rashida Tlaib uh, getting censored. Which I mean, at this point, I view it as a badge of honor. I mean, 22 Democrats decided to vote with pretty much almost the entire Republican House membership to vote to censor her. So there you go. Um, let's see. All right, the phone lines are open. Skype, of course. Doomed Live, you could call into the show. Um, we got coming out of Ohio, uh, big votes on abortion rights and marijuana. And Ohio voted for both of them. They voted to establish a right to abortion in the state's constitution. Once again, proving that this is a winning issue for Democrats. I mean, any Dem that's not running on this is insane, honestly. I mean, um, what else? Oh, we have governor in Kentucky winning big. Um, Andy Bashir defeating Daniel Cameron. It's amazing that a state that voted for Andy Bashir uh, twice now, Democratic governor, two times straight, same state that votes for Mitch McConnell. You can't see the stream on YouTube for some reason. It's a new stream. It's not gonna show up on the same. It's not gonna show up on the. Is there some sort of? Oh, I know what's wrong. Shit, I messed up. I forgot to It's unlisted. Crap. That's why no one's on. I was trying to figure out why no one was on. What was going on? There we go. I just made it public. That was weird. I couldn't realize what was going on. I was like, why is it like the why is like the same number of people on Twitch on the YouTube stream. It made no sense. Just looking at some of the other results here. Oh, of course, the big Virginia Virginia Democrats in Virginia keep control of the state Senate. Glenn Youngkin in shambles after pushing so hard out there about how it was going to be able to run on abortion differently. I mean, how he wanted to. I did mention Kentucky. I'm sorry, I'm looking up stuff right now. I'm being a little bit quiet. I don't know. Someone give me a call on Doomed Live on Skype. I'll be able to talk with someone. It'll be easier for me to look up stuff. Thank you. Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Nebraska.
Hey, Kowalski, how you doing?
I am excellent because
Thank.
harvest ends in 3 days,
Ooh, how
and then
is
I rest.
how is it going?
Um, we have all of our personal crops done, and we just have a little bit of custom work left to do for a neighbor, and then winter comes, and I get to hibernate as God intended. It will be
Hmm.
glorious. I'm curious, when is your slowest time of the year? Because mine is winter for obvious reasons. You know, we need stuff growing in order to farm, if you can believe it. When do
So
you
what?
have your most R&R?
Yeah, yeah. So what are you gonna do when it's over? What's the first thing you're gonna do?
For about a week. We're gonna slow it down, only work 36 hours, and then get some stuff cleaned, and then obviously do some shenanigans. Hit the dating scene a bit more. That's gonna be great. Get back into my hardcore gym regimen, and hope and pray that the country doesn't slide into fascism,
There you
which
go.
the elections have been going pretty well as far as I understand it, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah, they have. Dems have been doing good. I mean, I'm actually trying to. I'm following. I'm looking up. The reason I'm distracted is I'm trying to follow some of these elections. I'm trying to see how things are going. In I wanted to check out the New York City Council races, which probably no one else but me cares about that on this stream. I mean, and trying to see there's that you remember that there was that candidate who Republicans outed as a sex worker, like she had uploaded videos with her husband on like OnlyFans or something. Apparently
I
she was winning, and I think that's
hmm.
great. I want her to win. It would be the ultimate like they couldn't even ruin her, which she shouldn't have been. It was a horrible attack line from them, but of course they're gonna do it. I'm trying to follow that race as well. Uh,
Part of me is curious if the sheer like entropy of the anti-Trump sentiment will be enough to carry Dems through. But when he is not the antagonist that everyone can rally behind, I really feel like this is not going to work out well for the Dems long term, just because with Biden, I think you can see his team is beginning to atrophy in their ability to communicate anything of positive like whatsoever. So in the next election cycle, it isn't going to be Biden for sure, and Trump is either going to be, given his Elvis Presley style death, we can hope, or in prison, which we could hope for even more. So I really feel like the Dems could be pretty vulnerable in that situation,
yeah, I think
especially
I
if they
listen.
don't have any positives.
Yeah, I don't think I think people are viewing today as a big um like show that oh all this worry about next year is nothing is nothing to worry about. I mean, I think down ballot that's probably true. Um, and I think Biden is again I probably would have felt that way if we were talking exactly 1 month and 1 day ago that Biden was going to be fine. Um, I don't think that after the events of last month, if there's not a turnaround from his administration, he's going to lose significant portions of his base. I mean, you already have Arab and Muslim likely Dem voters saying they're not going to vote for him. You already have a lot of young people saying they're not going to vote for him. It doesn't mean they're not going to turn out and vote for the down ballot races, but they're going to make him pay. And
I
you know,
don't think they will, though, because the issue with that is Trump. would have been worse in this entire situation, and there's not a doubt in my mind. Like, instead of the US Navy just being there to deter an escalation from Iranian proxies, they would be assisting in the shelling of the city. So, in my mind, a year from now, I do think a lot of those people are just going to check that box when it's on the ballot and not be happy about it. But that's kind of my point as to that's not really a good indication of like how things could pan out in 2028 or beyond, because we are going to need like Congress and the White House to work together towards solving our long-term issues of like housing, of environmental reform and all that jazz. And this constant like circus show and then just like lesser of two evils. Because right now, like, what is Biden even running on? Like, I haven't heard him talk anything about Build Back Better, which was like his number one achievement. The Republicans haven't ran on like an actual policy idea in a long time, except for apparently we need to close down the border, go into isolation, but still start wars. I'm not sure how all that pans out. So it's like nobody has like a plan. It's just aimlessly wanting power for the sake of power.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm rambling.
No, I think it's there's there's no messaging that they're sending out there. Like the Biden administration, like you guys know my feelings on Biden. I felt he was a good president on domestic issues, in terms of good in the sense of the the bar was low, and
Best
he
president since LBJ. Who was the competition?
right, right. It's. I mean, it also shows how disappointing some of his predecessors were, who shouldn't have been disappointing. Obama for one. Um, the idea that people think like all I've seen are people saying like, oh, the usual Biden haters, or you could look up. I mean, everyone on who watches my show regularly probably knows I was not a Biden hater. I was. I bet a lot of leftists would have thought I was being overly generous, even. But my comparison again was the bar is low, and when you actually do compare fairly on domestic issues, he was much better than the vast majority of Democrats of the past century. I mean,
True.
look at the labor wins. The rhetoric around student loans. Again, I know he could do more, but he a major thing he tried to do was shot down by the Supreme Court. Again, not saying there's not other things he could do, but he did go for one. Uh, and then
But
he's
that
gone for
also goes back to
he's
kind
gone
of
for
the
a few since
messaging.
actually. What's that?
Well, that kind of goes back to the messaging thing. Like, even if all of these policy ideas that he would like to pass would get struck down by the Supreme Court, that could literally just build up animosity against the Supreme Court, and you just have to keep saying, it's the GOP's Supreme Court, keep doing this to us. We have to hold the Senate in order to replace these guys. Like, remember, this was stolen from us back in 2016. But they're not hammering on that because, they're trying to be cordial. Don't be cordial. But at the same time, I still don't think this is going to be as bad for Biden in the election next year because I remember Sam was debating somebody when it came to like libertarians and how it doesn't work to have a third party because, you're always going to pick the lesser of two evils. And he had this thing where it was like, would you rather vote for a guy that will bring about five death camps or four? And Sam's like, well, four, it's the lesser of two evils. So, like, in the situation of the foreign policy stuff, like, Biden's handled it poorly, but I do know the other option is worse. So at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to lose on that. The issue is that it's going to just make people like get fed up with the system, but probably not do anything. Because like the way I see it, either one of the parties will have to make a break towards like some sort of labor movement, or the Republicans go into irrelevancy and the Democrats eventually break into two, and then you actually have like the viability of a labor movement, which seems to me the only way we move forward. But the way things are right now, like if you cannot defeat what Republicans are doing on a state level, they could easily maintain this like minoritarian control. Like in the state of Texas, that place should be a purple swing state, but it's not because the state legislature down there just keeps throwing hundreds of thousands of people off the ballots. Like that should
Right.
be a flagrant violation. Like that's something that the attorneys general should be down there just like beating that state over the head with that, and they're like clear violation of immigration. Which honestly, how has that not been a bigger thing that the state of Texas has been abducting people and dropping them off in random parts of the country? I remember when that first happened, everybody freaked out, and now they've been doing it for a year and it's become normalized. Like you
Yeah.
would really think somebody should be arresting somebody over that, or it
Right.
should be a bigger talking point. But again, messaging, terrible. I'm rambling. I'm gonna let you go because I feel like someone else should ramble. But I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for calling because I needed it. I'm also distracted by the fact that I posted I found I was like I found the list of the 22 Dems who um who voted to censor Rashida Tlaib, and
Cowards.
I posted it on Twitter and Threads and Blue Sky or whatever, and I have never seen this reaction before. I literally have people calling me an anti-Semite for posting that list because some of the Democrats who voted to censor her are Jewish. And so that means I'm not allowed to talk about the public record of congressional votes because some of them are Jewish. It's the most insane thing. I've never seen this before. It is the most insane thing ever. And honestly, I have no threshold for this shit. They could call me whatever the fuck they want. They could call this fucking Jew anti-Semite all they want because I've been called so far since this has started in the month of the start. I've been called an Arab terrorist supporter. My avatar has been brought up because I have a beard, and so that I must be a terrorist. I had someone ask me what my religion was, and when I asked why, they said they wanted to make sense of my tweets, and I'm probably Muslim. Um, didn't answer that one because again, I don't care if you think I'm whatever you want to think. I am maybe I am Arab, maybe I am Muslim. I don't give a fuck. I like that's not the point. You're like I'm so like sick of it. Like thank you for listening to me ramble and be there to be my psychiatrist or therapist, Kowalski, but I am so done. I'm
You
like
know, actually, before I do go, I do gotta say, I did post a picture onto my Twitter. It was my first post. I only post on Twitter like once a year, and it was my grain cart, and I have the Palestinian flag flying off the back of it. And I had a few people ask me a few questions about it, and for the most part, everybody was like, I really was not well informed of that. I had no idea that that was like the case for Palestine. Like, they had no idea that what kind of like occupation it was under and our role in defending Israel doing that. So, like, I feel like a lot of people just have way too much cockiness online. And if you just like actually sit down and chat with people, and I mean, like, these people are pretty conservative. I mean, they live in rural Nebraska. So, I mean, if you, it, I don't know, this is a weird time to live in, but actually, defending Palestine has been the only thing that has ever gotten me blocked before or get timed out for a few days on Instagram because of mass reporting. Sometimes I like to go and make some comments, and it nothing ever before has done anything. Not defending Ukraine, not defending like pro-choice stuff from the forced pregnancy crowd, like nothing. But this has, so it is very different.
right.
But well, I will leave you. Have a good night.
Take care. All right, let's go back to the. Thanks, Kowalski. I appreciate it. Let's go back to the phones. Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Charlie from Washington. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, doing as okay as anybody is these days.
What
um,
would you? Yeah, I hear you. What would you like to talk about?
well, uh, shit. Hang on. They're all trying to get out the door at the same time. Um, Washington elections. There was a lot of candidates on the ballot that were running unopposed, like judges and stuff like that. So I hope they were okay, but there were a few school board elected stuff and lots of people talking about uh educational transparency, I think, was one of the buzzwords, and the parents' right to know was another one. One guy like even was even like, proud Christian, and let's see, what was the other thing he said? Something about we need an education that's based in facts and not about how somebody feels. So, I've taken to every election just going to like their little pamphlets with blurbs of what they say, and if they don't say anything on there, I try to track down their Facebook and see what kind of like dog whistles they like to use a lot. Is what somebody chooses to say and what they don't say, and what words they choose to use to say or don't say anything, says a lot about people. I feel like, words matter. If they didn't, they wouldn't be the first thing protected in the Constitution. But I'm kind of glad to see people talking about Ohio won their abortion rights and legal weed and stuff, because I gotta be honest with you, I'm really really stressed out about how anchored my rights are to the Democrats, to a guy who comes out and says we unequivocally support Israel while Israel's bombing kids. And I want to tell people, like, hey, Biden is bad, but like so are 98% of like literally all of the other politicians. And um how do I put this? Like, anybody that the GOP puts up, anybody. Hey, you know what? You want to know what the GOP is going to look like? Look at the Speaker of the House that they just elected. That's probably what their next candidate's going to be. Just as, if not more, supportive of Israel, and they want to do, Christian Nazi Sharia law here too. So, but at the same time, they support Israel bombing kids. I can't really be mad at it. They're correct to say that I wouldn't want to vote for that. Like, I don't blame them for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, sorry. Stressed out, like I said, because it's,
Yeah.
and I feel like shit for thinking about all of this stuff, because it feels really selfish when literally there aren't bombs falling on me right now. You know, not yet anyway. But oh, I do want to point out, though, you were talking about the censorship of Rashida Tlaib. I believe I just saw another streamer cover that it got dropped. And the reason it got dropped was because they swapped that for a censure that was aimed at MTG. And if you can find it, there's a video of a lady talking about like the huge list of like all the grievances, and it was actually kind of fun to watch. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I agree with people. Like, Biden shouldn't be the candidate, but we're likely going to get stuck with him. And I think the worst thing that's going to happen is people are going to stay home. They're like, I can't vote for the GOP, but I'm not voting for Genocide Joe. And again, I don't blame them. And low turnout's going to guarantee that the GOP wins, because that's the only way they win. And what do you do with that? Like, the world is shit right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to call in and rant.
No, I'm glad you did because I'm actually tired.
Yeah, it's kind of late over there for you. It's almost like 9 here, and I usually go to bed by like 9:30. So like, it must be really late for you over there. There's one other thing I wanted to say, but I can't remember off the top of my head here. Yeah, I guess that would just be the oh, that's the other thing. I think about the only winning strategy that we could hope for is the GOP comes out and just megaphones like their opinions on Israel and Palestinians and abortion and all that. They, like I said, they have a Christian Nazi infestation, and that's gonna bite them in the ass. And a year is a long time to try and keep that in the closet. So yeah, I don't know. If you're watching and you don't want to vote because Joe Biden is approving of bombing kids, I fully get that. But please don't get mad at any of us who are trying to survive elections because, you know, like I said, my rights are anchored to fucking Genocide Joe. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. And I think wanted to know something about the software that you use for streaming on Twitch or something like that. I don't remember exactly the question she asked me because I can't really go look that up right now. But yeah, if you want a fun time, watch the lady reading off the list of Marge's crimes because like it is kind of cathartic. She gets really fucking pissed. Yeah. But yeah, I'll stop ranting at you and let somebody else call in. Have a good night, bud.
All right, have a good night. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I wasn't expecting to feel this tired going on. Uh, should have probably just done the scam economy episode, and that's it. Um, let's see. I got a super chat here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna call it a night, guys. Let me see the super chat here though. Carl Marky Marks with the super chat. Virginia is for democracy lovers. Thanks for the super chat. Over on Twitch, Ponderosapine resubscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Subscribe for 22 months. Jeez, Ponderosapine. Brandon Sutton on Leftist Mafia when? You're right. You're right. Um, let's see what's going on with the. What's going on with Susanna Gibson? Is her name? I'm trying to see. I really want to see if she won. I'm really interested, honestly. That'd be insane if she won. Oh, it's really close. I don't know. It's not looking. She's ahead right now, but it's probably not going to be good. It's very close. All right, we'll have to see what happens. Uh, Pennsylvania. What's going on in Pennsylvania? We got oh yeah, did Sarah Emirato? She won, I think. Her race. Let's see. Inamorado, that's her name. I interviewed her once on Doomed. Um, she was elected. She's Allegheny County executive. Good for her. We got I think that's all the results right now. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it a night. All right, take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Wait, maybe tomorrow. There's a Kowalski, thank you for the super sticker. Ezekiel Mordecai, thank you so much. Thanks, Matt. We're all doomed. Appreciate it, Ezekiel. $20 super chat. Wow, my God. Thank you, buddy. There's a debate tomorrow, right? I don't think we're gonna do it live because we've been having copyright issues with it. But maybe we'll do a post show on Leftist Mafia stream. I'll let you guys know. All right. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Peace.